The space station called Gray Ring floated far from any famous star. It was old, broken, and forgotten by most of the galaxy. Only traders, smugglers, and hunters came here. In the lowest level of the station, behind broken metal walls, a very small life was hiding. The mini-alien pressed its thin body against the cold floor, trying not to make a sound. It was no bigger than a human child. Its skin was pale blue, cracked from cold and hunger. Its large eyes were full of fear, always watching, always waiting. The galaxy had no love for its kind, long ago, powerful. Races decided that this species was weak and useless. They were hunted, erased, and forgotten. This mini-alien was one of the last, maybe the last one alive. Heavy footsteps echoed through the tunnel. Bounty hunters were searching. Their scanners beeped again and again. They wanted the small alien alive, not to save it, but to sell it. Everyone knew its body carried rare energy. The mini-alien did not understand energy or value. It only knew fear. Fear of hands that hurt. Fear of cages. Fear of screams. It covered its mouth as voices came closer. One hunter laughed and said the reward would be big. Another said weak creatures should never exist. Tears rolled down the mini-alien's face. It felt its heart beat faster. Its body began to glow very softly. At the same moment, alarms rang across the station. Red lights flashed. Ships prepared to leave. In another corridor, a human cargo pilot walked fast toward his ship. His name was Elias. He was tired, dirty, and just wanted to leave this place. Humans were not respected here. Most aliens saw humans as noisy, emotional, and fragile. Elias had learned to stay quiet and avoid trouble. As he passed a broken tunnel door, he heard something, not words, not a scream, but a small, shaking sound. Elias stopped. Every warning he knew told him to walk away. Gray Ring was not a place for kindness. Then the tunnel light flickered. For 1 second, he saw the mini-alien's eyes, wide, scared, and begging without words. Footsteps echoed again. Much closer now. The hunters were almost there. Elias felt his chest tighten. He knew this creature would not survive if he left it. He whispered to himself that this was not his problem. But his body moved before his fear could stop him. He opened the tunnel door. The mini-alien flinched, expecting pain instead. The human held out his hand slowly, not touching, not forcing. "Come," Elias said softly, "that way." The mini-alien hesitated. No one had ever spoken gently to it before. The footsteps were loud now. The scanners beeped again. The mini-alien made a choice. It crawled into the human's arms, shaking. Elias pulled his jacket around the small body and ran. Alarms screamed as he reached his ship. He sealed the doors just as the hunters turned the corner. They shouted. They fired weapons at the ship, but it was too late. The engines roared. The ship pulled away from the station. Inside the dark cargo hold, the mini-alien waited for betrayal, for chains, for pain. But the human only sat on the floor, breathing hard. He placed a small food pack near the alien and moved back. The mini-alien stared, confused. No one had ever shared food with it before. Outside, the ship jumped into hyperspace, leaving Gray Ring behind, across the galaxy. Unseen systems reacted to the mini-alien's escape. Old signals stirred, ancient eyes opened, all because one human made a small choice and saved the smallest life no one wanted. The galaxy did not know it yet, but everything had just begun. The human ship moved through deep space in silence. Stars stretched into long lines, then faded. Inside the small cargo hold, the mini-alien sat very still. Its body was wrapped in the human's old jacket. The fabric was warm, but the fear inside it was still cold. The mini-alien watched the human carefully. It expected shouting. It expected pain. It expected to be locked away. That was how the galaxy worked. Elias sat a short distance away, leaning against a metal crate. He did not look at the mini-alien too much. He did not want to scare it. Humans had learned this lesson well. In the galaxy, humans were always the weaker ones. They had no thick armor, no natural weapons, no glowing powers. Alien races laughed at humans. They called them soft, too emotional, too kind. That was why no one feared them. The mini alien slowly moved closer to the food pack. Its thin hands trembled as it opened it. The smell made its stomach ache. It had not eaten properly. In many cycles, it took one small bite, then another. Nothing bad happened. Elias watched quietly. A strange feeling filled his chest. He had seen suffering before, but this was different. This creature had never known safety. As the ship traveled, warning lights suddenly flashed. A cold voice filled the cabin. Unidentified ships detected. Elias froze. His heart dropped. He moved to the control panel and checked the screen. 3 alien ships followed at a distance. Silent, patient. Hunters did not rush. They waited. The mini alien felt the danger instantly. Its body began to shake. The soft glow returned, brighter than before. Elias noticed the light. His eyes widened. "Easy," he said softly. "I won't hurt you." The mini alien did not understand the words, but it felt the tone. Elias lowered the ship's power and changed course. He flew into a field of broken asteroids. Rocks and metal floated everywhere. Alien ships hated places like this. Too risky, too chaotic. The chase slowed, then stopped. For now, when the danger passed, the mini alien collapsed. Its glow faded. Its body was weak. Elias moved closer slowly. He placed a small heat unit near the alien. The warmth spread through the floor. The mini alien looked up at him. Its eyes were full of confusion. Why was this human still here? Why had he not traded it for safety? The answer was simple, but the galaxy never understood simple things. Humans remembered pain. They remembered being judged. They remembered being weak. That memory stayed inside them. Elias spoke quietly. Even though the alien could not reply, he talked about Earth, about rain, about open skies, about how humans survived by standing together. The mini alien listened, not to the words, but to the calm. Far away, messages spread through alien networks. A human ship had interfered. A human had taken the mini alien. Alien leaders laughed. They said the human would fail. They said fear would break him. No one sent fleets. No one sounded alarms. Because it was only a human. Inside the small ship, something invisible was changing. Trust was forming. Slow, fragile. The mini alien rested near the human, not touching, but close enough to feel safe. And for the first time in its short life, it slept without fear. The galaxy continued as normal, blind to the truth that the weakest species had just chosen to protect the smallest life. And that choice would soon shake the stars. The human ship drifted near a dead star, its light weak and red. Elias chose this place to hide. Old radiation confused most scanners. Inside the ship, the mini alien sat quietly. Its breathing was slow, but its eyes were open, watching everything since leaving. The hunters behind, the mini alien had changed. It no longer hid in corners. It followed the human with small, careful steps. Elias noticed strange things. Whenever the mini alien felt fear, the ship lights dimmed. When it felt calm, systems worked better at first. Elias thought it was damage. Then he saw it happen again. The mini alien touched a broken control panel. The sparks stopped. The system repaired itself. Elias stepped back, his heart racing. This was not normal. He accessed old galactic records. Most files about the mini alien's race were locked or erased. That alone was suspicious. After hours of searching, he found a hidden archive. Very old, very forbidden. The truth was worse than he expected. Long ago, the mini alien's people were called the Keepers. They did not rule worlds. They did not build fleets. They maintained balance. Their bodies connected naturally to energy systems. They could heal machines, calm weapons, and awaken sleeping technology. They were not warriors, but they were powerful. The galaxy feared what it did not control, so councils labeled them dangerous and ordered their removal. Elias clenched his Fists, the record showed entire worlds wiped clean, not in war, but in silence. The mini-alien was never meant to survive. As Elias turned from the screen, the mini-alien was glowing again. This time brighter, unstable, outside the ship. Ancient structures near the dead star began to wake. Lights flickered on, signals pulsed outward. Elias realized the truth. The mini-alien was calling something, not on purpose, but by instinct. The galaxy had buried the keepers, but their systems still waited. Warning alarms sounded, new ships arrived. Not hunters this time, military fleets. They surrounded the area, weapons charged. A cold voice filled the void, demanding surrender. The mini-alien felt the threat. Its body shook. The glow spread across the ship. Elias moved in front of it without thinking. A human body, thin and weak, standing between a fleet and a child-sized. "Alien, stop," he said into the open channel. "This one is under my protection." Laughter echoed back. They mocked him, called him brave and stupid. The alien commanders spoke openly. They said the mini-alien was a mistake, a leftover problem. Elias looked down at the small being beside him. Its eyes reflected fear and trust at the same time. He made a decision. He would not hand it over. The dead star flared, energy surged through ancient machines. Hidden structures fully awakened. The fleets went silent. Sensors failed, weapons powered down. The galaxy had made a terrible mistake. The mini-alien was not a weapon, it was a key. And the one holding that key was a human who refused to let go. The silence after the systems failed was heavy and terrifying. Dozens of alien warships floated around the human ship, powerless and blind. No weapons, no shields. Inside the human vessel, Elias stood still, his hands shaking. He had not planned this. He had only protected the small life behind him. The mini-alien looked around in fear. Its glow faded to a soft pulse like a heartbeat. It did not understand what it had done. Across the void, emergency signals spread. High councils were alerted. Old fears returned. The galaxy remembered the keepers. A new transmission broke the silence. Not angry, not mocking, but controlled. A council voice spoke carefully. They asked Elias to move the mini-alien away from all systems. They claimed it was for safety. Elias listened. But he had learned something important. When the galaxy spoke calmly, it meant it was afraid. He replied with simple words. He said the mini-alien was not a threat. He said it only wanted to live. The council rejected this. They said the galaxy could not allow balance outside its control. Behind Elias, the mini-alien stepped forward. Its small hand touched the ship wall. The metal warmed under its fingers. Far away, ancient stations turned fully active. Some were human-made, others were far older. The galaxy panicked. Old treaties failed. Command chains broke. Alien fleets tried to restart their weapons. Nothing worked. Humans noticed the change first. Deep space sensors on human colonies detected strange signals. Old defense networks responded automatically. Human commanders did not understand why. But they did what humans always did. They showed up, human ships arrived. Not in attack formation, but in defense, placing themselves between the councils and the human cargo ship. The galaxy was shocked. Humans never acted this fast. Elias watched. As more ships appeared, not warships alone, but rescue vessels, medical ships. The mini-alien looked up at the human fleet, its eyes filled with something new, hope. The councils grew desperate. They demanded humans step aside. They reminded them of their weakness. A human commander answered calmly. He said humans knew they were weak. That was why they protected life. The mini-alien's glow stabilized. Its fear eased. Energy waves spread outward. Weapons stayed silent. Aggression faded. The galaxy realized too late. The keepers never ruled by force. They ruled by balance, and humans, without knowing it, had always lived that way. The council's authority cracked for the first time in history. They could not enforce fear. Elias knelt beside the mini-alien. He told it softly that it was safe. Across the stars, A new truth spread. Humans were not dangerous because of power. They were dangerous because they refused to abandon the small and weak, and the galaxy could not control that. Space around the dead star no longer felt empty. It felt awake, quiet. But watching, human ships formed a wide shield around Elias and the mini-alien. They did not fire, they did not threaten, they simply stayed. That alone frightened the galaxy more than weapons ever could inside the human ship. The mini-alien stood on unsteady feet. For the first time, it was not hiding behind the human. Its small body still shook, but its eyes were clear. Elias noticed the change. The fear that once ruled the mini-alien was fading. Something stronger was taking its place, across space. Alien fleets struggled to understand what was happening. Their weapons were useless, their commands ignored. They had always believed power came from force. Now they faced something they could not fight. The mini-alien lifted its hand slowly. Energy flowed outward, calm and wide, not as an attack, but as a message. Old satellites responded, ancient stations aligned. Hidden networks came alive. These were not weapons, they were guardians. Long ago, the keepers had built them to protect balance, not to rule, not to destroy. Human scientists watched in shock. Systems older than most civilizations were answering a child-sized alien. Elias felt a deep weight in his chest. This small life was never meant to carry such responsibility. The councils tried one last time. They sent messages filled with fear and blame. They said the mini-alien would destroy the galaxy by existing. The mini-alien heard the words, and for the first time, it understood them. It turned to Elias. Its voice was weak, but real. It asked if it was wrong to live. Elias knelt and looked into its eyes. He said life never needed permission. That answer changed everything. The mini-alien's energy stabilized completely. The wild pulses stopped. Balance settled like still water. Across space, systems calmed. Ships regained control. But weapons stayed silent. The galaxy felt it. Fear was no longer guiding events. Human fleets did not cheer. They did not claim victory. They simply stayed close. The mini-alien stepped forward into open space, protected by energy it did not fully understand. It sent a simple signal, not a threat, not a command, a promise that balance would return. But fear would not rule it again. Alien fleets slowly pulled back, confused and shaken. They had prepared for war, not mercy. Elias watched the stars reflect in the mini-alien's eyes. It was still small, still fragile, but no longer alone. Hope had learned to stand, and the galaxy could no longer pretend it was powerless. The withdrawal of alien fleets did not bring peace. It brought silence filled with tension. Across the galaxy, emergency councils were called. Old leaders argued. Young species watched in fear. For the first time, the galaxy was not facing a weapon. It was facing a choice. Human fleets remained in place, calm and steady. They did not celebrate. They waited. Inside the small human ship, the mini-alien sat beside Elias. Its energy was quiet now, like a sleeping ocean, but the galaxy could still feel it. A formal transmission request arrived, not a demand, a request. The High Council asked to speak with the mini-alien. Elias hesitated. He did not trust them. The mini-alien looked at him and nodded slowly. It understood that hiding forever would not end fear. The connection opened. A massive chamber appeared on the screen, filled with beings of every shape and size. The mini-alien looked very small in comparison. The council leader spoke. Their voice was careful, controlled. They asked the mini-alien to explain itself. The mini-alien took a breath. Its voice was soft, but it did not shake. It said its people were called the Keepers. They were made to protect balance, not through force, but through care. It spoke of fear, of being hunted, of watching its kind disappear. The chamber grew quiet. Then the mini-alien spoke of one human, a human who did not ask what it was worth, a human who only asked if it was safe. Eyes across the council shifted, some in shame, some in disbelief. The mini-alien said fear destroyed its people, but kindness saved it. The council tried to respond. They spoke of danger, of loss of control. Elias stepped forward, breaking every rule. He said humans knew fear too. They had been judged, ignored, underestimated. He said humans chose to protect life because they understood loss. The galaxy listened, not because Elias was powerful, but because nothing around them was attacking. The ancient system stayed calm, balanced. The mini-alien finished with simple words. It said balance did not belong to the galaxy. The galaxy belonged to balance. No one argued. Across space, the message spread, not as law, but as truth. The councils were forced to accept a new reality. They could not erase what they feared anymore. They offered safety, a protected world. Under shared watch, the mini-alien looked at Elias waiting. He nodded, but only if humans stood with it. The agreement was made, not sealed with weapons, but with trust. For the first time in galactic history, fear did not write the future. And the galaxy was forced to listen. The new world was quiet. Soft blue skies stretched above wide green land. No warships hovered, no weapons watched the horizon. The galaxy called it a sanctuary, but to the mini-alien, it felt like a beginning. Human and alien ships stayed at a respectful distance, guarding. Without control, watching without fear, Elias stood at the edge of a hill. The wind moved gently through the grass for the first time since Grey Ring. His hands were not shaking. The mini-alien walked beside him. Its steps were small, but steady. It had grown stronger, not taller, but braver, across the galaxy. Stories spread, not of battles or victories, but of a human who stopped and listened. Some worlds laughed at first, then they watched, and they stopped laughing. Old laws were rewritten, not erased, but softened. The councils no longer hunted what they feared. They studied it. They protected it. On the sanctuary world, ancient keeper systems slept beneath the ground. They no longer needed to wake. Balance had found new guardians. The mini-alien stood at the center of a quiet field. It closed its eyes, and for the first time, nothing called to it in fear. Elias knelt beside it. He told it that its life was its own now. The mini-alien looked up at him and asked if humans would ever leave. Elias smiled. He said humans stayed where they were needed. Across space, a monument was built. Not large, not made of gold. It showed a human holding the hand of a very small alien. No weapons, no symbols of power, only trust. Visitors from every species came to see it. Some felt shame, some felt hope. Children of many worlds learned a new story. That strength was not found in size or fear, but in the choice to protect the smallest life. The mini-alien grew into its role slowly, not as a ruler, but as a guide. Humans remained beside it. Not above, not below. Years passed, stars changed, but one truth stayed: the galaxy was not saved by fleets or force. It was changed by a human who refused to walk away, and by a small life no one wanted, that became a light the stars would never forge.